Happy 4th from Midwestern Marks. We are celebrating the first anniversary. Our first anniversary. So, like the first international, we come to you bathed in old glory for a special episode of the Midwestern Marks podcast asking, can Nina Turner lose a 35-point lead?
The answer is a resounding yes, Tim.
Joining me in Cleveland is our cadre from the shop floor mass line, Jonathan. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, Tim. It's good to be here.
How's the shop floor?
It is shop floor material.
How is the mass line?
Disgruntled.
Our very special first anniversary podcast is happening. Why, Jonathan?
Why?
Yes.
Because the first international of the, what was it, the Working Party, Communist Party?
Show us on the doll where Jim Clyburn touched you.
Oh, my God. Right about up here, in here. Both my heart and my brain. He broke it. He utterly broke it, Tim. He snapped it in half. Fano snapped it in half.
For our listeners, Jonathan is pointing at the doll's head. That's where Jim Clyburn touched him.
And my heart.
And now we are festooned in old glory like the first international, celebrating the re-election of Abraham Lincoln in 1864. Is that correct, Jonathan?
That is correct, yes.
We are joined by none other than Union Brigadier General August Willich, the greatest American communist of them all, who would have been at the first international, except he was busy freeing slaves with his bare hands. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Under this flag.
Yes, he wasn't at an international conference like Karl Marx.
Under this flag.
Yes, he was under the Star-Spangled Banner.
So,
as a communist.
As a communist
from Ohio.
We will now drink up to the greatest American communist of them all, August Willich, with German beer. What is the German beer?
We got Hofbrau tonight.
We're drinking a Hofbrau tonight.
Hofbrau House.
There's a Hofbrau House in Cleveland. Shout out to you guys. We take sponsorships, don't we?
I mean, I assume so.
I'll drink free beer from somebody if they want me to talk about it on this podcast. So first, a shout out to a friend of the pod, Dominic, without whom our sound and video tonight would not be worthy of Midwestern Marks' first anniversary because it was crap.
Accurate.
Did you not like our sound and video, Jonathan?
Well, considering we were working off of like a 15-year laptop and a phone.
So this
not even an iPhone, an Android.
So this night of all nights, we are discussing the question on everyone's mind: can Nina Turner lose a 35-point lead? And the show tonight is basically we are going to discuss the bet that Jonathan and I have on that question. So, why did Jim Clyburn touch you and hurt you?
Why did he touch me and hurt me?
Tell us the story. We're sitting here festooned with the American flag on July 3rd. Tomorrow's July 3rd. July 2nd was the charge of the 1st Minnesota. Shout out to a certain Canadian who needs to play Peter Marks in this fabulous historical fiction series, Ghosts of Plum Run.
Yes.
By the way, we have a voter in the 11th district who I am in personal friendship with who refused to talk to me. Guess which one that was? Which one? The one who hates Bipkins.
Really? Leslie.
Don't say her name.
I didn't say her full name.
Anyway,
we got a Bipkins hater.
We got a
Bipkins hater.
Bipkins, of course.
And for those of you who don't know, you need to read the book.
Yes, Bipkins is one of the unforgettable characters in the Ghosts of Plum Run. Being
that he is completely forgettable.
He is obviously forgettable, but now we will never forget him. So your PTSD Clyburn moment. Tell us what happened. So
my goodness. So I checked Google, okay, and everybody gets their little notifications of articles and stuff, and it just pops up in my news feed. Oh, Jim Clyburn weighs in, endorses Chantel Brown in this establishment versus, progressive wing of the Democratic Party fight. And I am not happy. I freak out, and I call you.
I'm laying in bed. It's like 11:30 or something. Like, you shouldn't have been on break.
It was
at 11:30.
Yeah. It was very late.
And Jonathan texts me, Clyburn, oh my God. I'm like, what?
I didn't even say what he did. I assumed you knew.
It's just Clyburn. Oh my God.
I forgot how old Tim is.
So then I'm like, Jonathan, You're having a PTSD reaction to this because he's telling me, oh, Clyburn endorsed Chantel Brown, and that's gonna, and so now, what do you think? Can Nina Turner lose a 35-point lead?
If she loses the 35-point lead, it won't be because Jim Clyburn has this religious following in Cleveland. It will not be because of that. But I do think she could very well lose it if she doesn't play the right moves.
And that's not the question.
What?
You're supposed to be making a bet tonight.
Oh, my God. You want me to put money on it?
That's what this whole thing, that's why it says right there.
This is my bet. I think this race is going to be a hell of a lot closer than freaking 35 points. Way closer.
You don't think she's up?
Chantel will close the gap, and this will be a single-digit victory if Nina wins. And I think she's fairly capable of losing it.
You don't think she's up 35?
No. I think her support, if she is up, that's if, because it's one poll we're going off of, and a polling establishment, I don't know, how accurate they are. One poll, though, has her up 35 points. So that's not a good enough sample size for me.
You need to show us again where Jim Clyburn touched you.
He broke my brain. But it's one poll. You can't base your opinion off of one poll. And the support, if it's real, if that's the real thing, I don't think it's as strong as it's soft support.
Since we are using props, this is for Dominic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
You know who you are. Anyway, so you don't think it's a 35-point lead?
No, I think it could be, 15 points maybe or whatever if we're conjecturing here, but I don't think it's some large insurmountable lead, and I think a lot of that is soft support. She does have high name recognition.
So let's walk our listeners through the details of this race like nobody else does.
Yes, being that we're actually from Cleveland.
By the way, we are in Cleveland. This is the Midwestern Marks Cleveland headquarters, obviously soon to be world headquarters.
World headquarters.
Because the Iowa headquarters does not have a portrait of August Willich on the wall.
That's right.
What he's got is a Pink Floyd poster.
Yes.
So, anyway. I mean, the Pink Floyd poster is nice. Should we have a Midwestern Marks Music Minute?
Music Minute?
Yeah.
We were just listening to Def Leppard and Van Halen. So that was our Music Minute earlier.
Unofficial.
It was we can't play it because of
right. We would be listening
YouTube
to all
reasons.
of this awesome music right now, except the last time we tried this, YouTube pulled a video because Prince was playing in the background.
Yeah. So do you think Nina can blow a 35-point lead is my question to you, because I am yes.
I am not a loser and choker like you. I am going to go down with the ship. I'm taking the bet. She's not losing a 35-point lead.
So you're saying she wins, and she wins by double digits.
Correct.
All right.
That's what I say. Now
that's a bold take.
So, well, that's the bet. I mean, I thought we were making a bet tonight.
Yes. I'll make that bet.
What do you think?
A bottle of scotch says Nina
all right,
either loses or wins by single digits.
Bottle of scotch it is. I will buy you the finest single malt scotch.
Yes.
That $70 could buy.
Yeah. Sounds about right. That fits the Marxist budget here.
You can buy a $5,000 bottle of scotch, but that's not the bet.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the district. So what we need to do is look at some dates. So first thing is the date of the election, which is August 3rd. Okay, that's coming up. It's a month from tonight. Isn't that coincidental?
Not really.
Don't you think? Well, tonight is July 3rd. That's coincidental. So, all right, notes. Tuesday, July 6th is the last day to register to vote in Ohio 11. Wednesday, July 7th, early vote starts. So that's next Wednesday, early vote starts. So early.
I heard they're planning a walk to the polls to cast a ballot.
Who's planning?
Who do you think's planning?
Diane Morgan?
Diane Morgan. I got an email.
Tell us how much outreach you've received from the Nina Turner campaign.
Well, I don't want to toot my horn.
And make sure you point the microphone at your mouth.
Yes.
So we take advantage of this beautiful sound brought to us by friend of the pod, Dominic. We're drinking up. Well, I'm drinking up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't want to toot my own horn or whatever. Like, a lot of us did work for Bernie in 2016 and 2020. I got involved in 2020, held some events and everything, did some organizing, led some solidarity strikes at the GM here in Parma, which Tim attended.
Like 3 times we picketed outside the UAW plant in Parma.
And that's the times that Tim came. There were more times than that.
What can I say?
Yes. So, like,
I'm a draw.
I won't say I'm the greatest organizer, but I was involved and I was passionate and I gave of my time and my resources.
And how many
money.
times has the Nina Turner campaign contacted you?
I haven't been contacted at all.
And you live in Parma.
Yeah. And my official residence is in Cleveland.
And from Parma, you can vote, but you can't vote in this. You're not in the 11th district.
No, I'm not in the 11th district.
You're not a voter in the 11th district.
I'm not a voter. I am in Marcy Captor's district.
I'm in Anthony Gonzalez's district.
Cue the gun to the head blowing.
Right.
Up the brains.
This district changes every time.
Trumpy dude.
Yeah. And
isn't he the Ohio State player?
Yes, he was a mediocre tight end. Everybody thinks he's like Ozzie Newsome or something. By the way, I'm wearing a Browns jersey.
Utter disgrace, folks.
They're going to be great. The Browns are going to be...
Not the Browns, Anthony Gonzalez.
The Browns
He's not worthy of wearing an Ohio State jersey.
The Browns are going to be great this year.
Yes.
We can have a bet on that. You know what? Cushbomb can come on this podcast and we can have a bet about the Browns.
I think if they meet the Packers at any point, they'll kick their ass.
But the Packers aren't going to have Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So that's the end of the Packers.
Yes.
Let's get back to Ohio 11. So neither of us live in the district or can vote in the district, but we are both volunteers here within reach of both ends of the district, which brings us a chance to talk about the map of the district. So if you've looked at the map of Ohio 11, you are no doubt puzzled by the fact that it is gerrymandered all the way down to inner city Akron. So it's between inner city Akron and inner city Cleveland, all the way to the lake.
How long of a drive is that from downtown Cleveland to Akron, would you say?
That's got to be 45 minutes.
45 minutes. And that's having an interstate straight freaking there.
So the map of the district goes a little bit like this. So it looks like Lou Stokes' 20th district for a while. So the map basically is Lou Stokes' 20th district. But because it's emptied out, because Cleveland has emptied out like a toilet for 50 years, there's less people there. So the black seat, the identified, targeted Democratic Party African-American seat is the Ohio 11th because Lou Stokes served in the 20th district. Carl Stokes was mayor before him of Cleveland, and this is basically Lou Stokes' district, Lou Stokes' operation, legacy-wise. So that area is the east side wards of Cleveland, including the most mixed ward, which is Ward 12, but it used to be, but now it reached out to the west side to a much more mixed couple of precincts in Tremont and Ohio City.
Yes.
Where I have run for office. so
Tim knows a little bit about
twice. So that's the district in Cleveland. Then it goes down into Seven Hills, which is a, Trumpy
suburbia,
semi-inner ring.
Yeah.
Suburbia. Then it's in the outer ring into
Richfield.
Broadview Heights first.
Yes.
Broadview Heights. Then it crosses into Summit County to Richfield.
Wealthy area.
Then it crosses into Fairlawn.
Yes.
Then from Fairlawn into inner city Akron. Included in this district, and historically has been in the African American district, back to Lou Stokes, is Beechwood, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, University Heights, all of which have a very high Jewish population. It's the most per capita Jewish population in the country outside of New York City. So that's the map. That's what it looks like. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Give.
Well, obviously, when you look at the map, if you're looking at it online or whatever, looking at a picture as you listen to us, it is the most gerrymandered, hacked up piece of crap map I've ever seen. It was drawn by a computer algorithm.
Like there's nothing in common with Akron voters and
zero
Cleveland voters.
Yeah.
Other than
completely different interests.
other than capitalism collapsing all around them.
Yes. Like absolutely nothing in common. Like the issues and the district right next door, Marcy Captors, I think is even more egregious.
Marcy Captors is the most amazing district. It goes from Toledo
Yes.
to you
Yes.
in North Royalton.
To all the way to the west side
like-
of Cleveland. From Toledo to
Yeah,
Cleveland.
so
Basically the
it's a
border
joke.
of Michigan to Cleveland. And it's just this thin strip that
Yeah.
takes up
But
Sandusky.
we're going back-
What does Sandusky have to do with Toledo? Have to do with west side of
It
Cleveland?
has even less
Nothing.
to do with whether or not Nina Turner can lose a 35-point lead. So we're not talking about Marcy Captor.
Yes. I'm just saying
I'm holding you accountable.
The map in Ohio is so utterly gerrymandered, and this is a perfect
This is one of them.
illustration.
This is one of them.
Yes.
And
so it's a safe Democratic seat.
it's a safe Democratic seat. It was drawn to protect Democrats, not African Americans.
Yes.
Let's get that straight.
Everybody wants to blame Republicans with this stuff. Democrats are just as complicit half the time.
Yeah, it
with
was drawn
gerrymandering.
to benefit Democrats, not African Americans. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Since August Willich is here with us, we are going to avoid Id Paul tonight
That's right.
as much as we possibly can. So that's the map of the district. Now, it's a August 3rd special election. What do you think the turnout's going to be?
Well, I thought it was going to be a little higher than typically just because of the fact that Nina Turner is a polarizing figure and she has a ton of money, and so does her opponent. But at the same time, it's August 3rd. Who votes in the summer? Like nobody. Elections are usually held here in, September and November.
So we reached out from Midwestern Marks to Tom Sutton of Baldwin Wallace University now. I guess that's their new corporate identity. Like, who pays you to turn your name from college to university? Sorry, Tom. Anyway,
Thank you for your help.
thank you very much for your help. So, Tom is a well-known pollster and political scientist here in Cleveland at Baldwin Wallace University, and he has graciously sent us some data on turnout for special elections in Ohio, and I'm just going to read what Tom sent me.
Let's hear it.
So August 2018, people remember this: Troy Balderson, Danny O'Connor, right? And the Green Party guy was Joe Manchin. Remember him?
I do not.
Oh, that was great. That turnout in 2018 was 38.27%.
That's high turnout.
That is very high for an August special election. Now,
This is 2018.
This is Danny O'Connor and Troy Balderson.
So the most recent example.
in the midst of Trump, in the Trump midterm. This was in the Trump midterm.
What was the date on that?
That was August 2018.
Wow.
June 2016, election for Ohio 8. The turnout was 6%. Corey Foster, Democrat, lost 21% to Warren Davidson, Republican, 76.8%. July 2010 primary for the Ohio 3 Democratic Party nomination. Steve Driehaus, 83%. Registered vote, 3.81%. Turnout.
And the registered vote, that's the number to pay attention here for those who don't know.
October 2008 primary for Ohio 1110 Democrats. This is how Marcia Fudge got to Congress. Registered vote turnout. This is how Marcia Fudge.
Unopposed.
3.46%. Jeff Johnson, who we're going to talk about in a minute, got 13.38% in 2008 running against Marcia Fudge.
Yeah.
And the turnout was 3.46%. Jeff Johnson
with the chair.
Jeff Johnson may be our wild card.
He's our
candidate.
wild card. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Jeff
literally.
Johnson may. Okay, so
Always Sunny. fans
December
out there.
2007, Ohio 5 registered vote turnout between. This is an odd number, 12.5% to 30% across 10 counties. So it was very complicated. Anyway, Tom's estimate, because I asked if I could quote him on the record with this analysis, is that he thinks turnout in Ohio 11 on August 3rd might get to 15% because of the amount of money being spent. So, 15%. I'm saying 7%.
7%.
I'm saying 7%.
The amount of money involved here, though, you don't think that drives up anything?
It'll drive up, but the problem here is this is an exhausted electorate politically.
Okay.
Trump is gone.
They had Biden to beat him over the brain.
The whole energy in this electorate is gone because Trump is gone. So nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's August. It's COVID. I'm thinking, in fact, I will make a bet with Tom Sutton right now. I will bet you that bottle of scotch. It ain't going to be 15%.
All right.
So
you heard it here first.
That's for you.
The Tim Russo guarantee.
That's for you, Tom Sutton at Baldwin Wallace University. Anyway, again, to friend of the pod, Dominic, for the sound quality and video quality. Drink up. And to a certain Canadian who we want to play Peter Marks in the Ghosts of Plum Run historical fiction series, soon to come to Netflix. Isn't it? Like, when is the Netflix?
I don't know. They're not sending me the emails, Tim. They're sending you the emails.
Who should play Bipkins?
Bipkins? Oh, it's got to be somebody lovable, a little on the
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Because the Chapo boys hate Anthony Hopkins.
Really?
I think that. I can't tell. Like
maybe you should punish Matt Christman by making him play Bipkins.
We are going to punish Matt Christman. Whether or not he plays Bipkins is another story.
People will be held to account.
He will be held accountable. And the only person who can hold him accountable is me and Jonathan. Midwestern Marks. 1 year anniversary. There he is. Right there. When's the last time you heard Matt Christman talk about... Never mind.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to move on to...
so this voter turnout.
Yes.
So you swear to God it's going to be less than that.
I think it's going to be 7%.
Now, who the hell is this 7% that's showing up here?
Where's the bottle opener? Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Excuse me. I'm going to pour... You need to explain what you're talking about while I pour myself this beer. This beautiful Hofbrau original.
Yes, Hofbrau House. They have a location in Cleveland. Amazing place. Good beer too. Good German lager. But my point is here, not my point, my question to you is the 7% of people you just boldly predicted will, vote in this, which you could very well be right. It's a low turnout affair, special election, midsummer extravaganza. Who the hell is that 7%? Who's showing up to vote?
That's why I called Leslie, who hates Bipkins.
It's not a bunch of Bernie people, that key demographic of 20, 30 somethings.
This is why I called
prime target.
This is why I called Leslie about the Beechwood vote, who did not return my call because she hates Bipkins.
Okay.
I think it's personal.
Yes.
So we are. What are we talking about?
I'm wondering who's the 7% showing up to vote.
So it's going to be. This is the question:
Who's the likely?
Can Nina Turner build a turnout operation? Is the issue, because if the vote is going to be 7%, which is what I think it's going to be, maybe it's 10. Tom Sutton thinks it's 15. Tom Sutton's a pretty good number. He's pretty solid, so that's a good number. I just think he's not taking into account this Trump factor being gone and nobody gives a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
So, and COVID.
Yes.
So, and it's August, so everybody's on vacation. So, does that bring us to the Israel issue finally?
I think it's a key component of
the Israel issue is the reason we're talking about this is because the biggest chunk of likely voters in the 11th district are Jewish voters, Jewish Democrats who live in the Beechwood, Pepper Pike, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, some in Seven Hills, not many, maybe in Fairlawn, and you know who lives in this district? I think LeBron James has a house in this district.
Yeah, who's LeBron voting for? He might actually vote for Nina.
I bet he does.
I think he does. I mean, he's worked with Bernie on some bills and stuff.
I bet he does.
He knows Bernie. He knows who Bernie is. Who knows? We'll
Now,
find out.
we do not know that LeBron lives in the district, or has an address in the district, but it's likely because it's Bath.
Yeah.
Right?
And these neighborhoods you just listed off of the high Jewish, those are upper income neighborhoods, correct?
So these are the highest income precincts in the county. And they are reliable Democrats, very establishment Democrats. What Chantel Brown is banking on is that all of this Democratic majority for Israel money that's going to get thrown in here to tell everybody that Nina Turner hates Jews is going to alienate her from a very large chunk of American Jews who live in Cleveland, because this issue of Israel deeply, deeply divides the Cleveland Jewish community. It might be 50-50. You have a different idea.
I think any attack Chantel Brown comes at Nina Turner with on Israel will epically backfire.
Why?
Because, as you said, it's deeply divided. The people who feel about it feel very passionately about it. But I think that percentage is 70 to 75% Jewish people in Cleveland not liking what Israel has been up to in the media the past few months.
I tend to agree that the Israel issue splits the Jewish community in Cleveland 50-50 at least.
But I think Nina has
70.
a larger chunk.
And the 70 is the bigger chunk is fuck this bullshit. Like they are tired of apologizing for an apartheid state.
Yes, an ethno state.
That is a client of capital.
Yes.
It's a client colony of capital.
Yeah.
Now, they don't know it's a client colony of capital. We at Midwestern Marks do, which is why we're having our first anniversary, because, when you get that right, you tend to last a year. The American Jewish community in Cleveland, deeply divided, and I think 70-30 is reasonable. I think it's 50-50. On this.
You think it's 50-50?
I think, and that's
even with all the media coverage here.
Well, because I've worked in the Jewish community quite a bit, because I ran in that part of the world, I ran campaigns in that part of the world, so I have, and even though Leslie hates Bipkins,
yes,
it's okay. I'm not going to hold that. I don't like Bipkins. I didn't like Bipkins. Like writing Bipkins was difficult.
But Bipkins besides the point.
Bipkins is beside the point. So we get to Israel, and they're trying to make Chantel Brown out to be the congresswoman for Israel. That's what's going to happen for the next month.
Yes.
Like $500,000.
Oh, the ads playing at the restaurant I work at are all paid by the majority.
Are they really? What are they saying?
Democratic majority.
What are they
Israel.
saying?
They're just boilerplate ads. They're not mentioning Israel.
So it's like they're basically campaigning for her.
Yeah.
In this positive way. Oh, Chantel's nice. Blah,
yes,
blah, blah.
And it's always with pictures of Joe. Every single time, pictures with Joe.
Let's
Biden.
Let's talk about Joe Biden.
Yes.
Does anybody care that Joe Biden is president?
No.
So when
people who voted for Joe Biden don't care that Joe Biden is president. They care that Trump isn't.
Right. This is like Trump being gone in Ohio is a big deal, because that is the energy at the grassroots, was Trump in Ohio, especially on both sides of that equation.
And we see who had the larger chunk there.
So once that's gone, no one cares who Joe Biden is. So this brings us back to, you have to show us again where Jim Clyburn touched you and hurt you.
Oh my
Tell us
God.
why. What was the story that triggered you?
Oh my goodness. Well, he came out and endorsed, and
who did he endorse when?
He endorsed Chantel Brown.
No, before. Why did you have the PTSD?
Yes. As most of our viewers know,
put the mic
Jim
near
Clyburn endorsed.
Not that close. That's better.
Jim Clyburn.
That's for Dom.
Jim Clyburn endorsed Joe Biden. What was it? Two nights before the South Carolina primary.
Right. Who was in charge of South Carolina for Bernie?
We hate to say it, folks, but it was Nina Turner.
Can't she lose a 35-point lead? The answer here on Midwestern Marks.
Now, mind you, Bernie was closing the polls in South Carolina leading up to this election.
Right.
I didn't think he had his chance to win it just because of how solid Joe Biden's votes were in certain demographics.
You just said that no one cares about that Joe Biden is president.
Yes.
In this race.
Yes.
So you don't think his endorsement matters?
Jim Clyburn's?
Joe Biden.
Well, he's not going to weigh in.
Or putting his face on the Democratic majority for Israel ads.
I think it could help Chantel. I think the thing is, it's not going to... The things that help Chantel won't be because Hillary Clinton singly came out or Jim Clyburn singly came out.
When Hillary Clinton endorsed Nina, Nina raised $100,000 that day.
Yes, and I laughed.
I mean,
I laughed.
It's just... Can we just pause for a moment and appreciate how stupid Hillary Clinton is? Yeah, I said that, so cancel me. All right, Israel. So we're going to move to the campaign. This brings us to a turnout issue. The turnout is a function largely of the political dynamic. But in my opinion, in my professional experience, a good operation can deliver about 3 to 4% of the vote.
Yes.
So is that your number? Would you think that's a good number
for Nina to
for
get
any campaign?
Yes.
With a good field operation, at most you're going to up your turnout by 3 to 4%.
Yeah.
So
I think if you approached it in a Gandhian Gramscian sense and understanding, it would be much higher. But that's a conversation for another day, and Nina's not doing that.
Maybe you should touch on that.
Touch on that? Well, as we all know, Gramsci understood cultural hegemony. He understood that, we reinforce capitalism through everyday acts on a daily basis. And that saying no to key components of these acts is how you can break the hegemony and create your own counter hegemony. Correct, Tim?
It's hegemony.
Hegemony.
It's with the first...
The German beer is settling in.
Which, by the way, is Hofbrau.
Which leads you to Gandhi because he's how you say no correctly. Not through violence, but through truth and love.
Whenever I hear someone say correctly, I always think of Mao.
Yes.
Because that was, Mao's big thing was the correct way. He says the word correct quite a bit, and that was a very, very big driver of the Cultural Revolution.
Yeah. Self-criticism, too.
Right. So we're going to have a struggle session here in a minute.
We're going to pull out the sackcloth and ashes.
Perhaps I already am having a struggle session. Anyway, certain Canadian.
Yes, but
certain Canadian needs to play Peter Marks.
So 3-4%, yes. It would be more if she were approaching it from a lens of civil disobedience, but she's choosing not to make that decision.
Let's discuss the Gandhi thing when Vijay Prashad comes on the podcast for Midwestern Marks. Vijay, where are you? Eddie wants to interview you. So 3 to 4% increase in a 7% turnout race, or 10%, even 15%, as Tom Sutton says. That's the race. Your whole campaign is turnout. It can't be anything else.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's going?
How do you think her turnout campaign is going?
Just like in South Carolina. That's how I think. Or you weren't asking, were you?
Oh my goodness. Nina, it's not Nina, it's the people I think she would trust in the Cleveland area to run these type of things.
You haven't been called.
Yes.
That's the amazing thing.
Not a phone call. And like I said,
it's a month away.
I volunteered. I donated a lot. This is like I held events.
Somebody running for Congress in Iowa, and they don't call Eddie.
I'm willing. I'm the person you call to do the things. I do the things for you, and I do them for free because I believe in the movement. I really want to see.
We need to drink up to Jonathan's ability to do the things.
And we here at Midwest Marks also understand that Nina is not a Marxist. She does not believe in a permanent revolution.
She's never going to be.
She will never be.
She's never going to be.
The reason why I'm willing to give Nina a look is because I think she is a good voice on an issue like Medicare for All. And I think that will help the working class significantly if it gets pushed forward and advanced. And raising class consciousness.
So you think you'd like her to win?
I would like her to win. I'm on the record as I would like to see Nina Turner win.
Dare we bring up issue 6, Tim's pet issue with Nina Turner?
Oh my goodness.
Dare we?
Let's not. I don't know the details well enough.
Dare we?
Because then I'll be in a position of defending Nina on that issue.
All right,
and
we're not. All right,
Yes.
for our listeners, go Google issue 6, Nina Turner, 2009.
She does not have a perfect record when it comes to local politics in Cleveland, at the least.
Well, this is a good point because we talk about. Let's talk about the candidates.
Yes.
So the candidates. There are 13 candidates in the Democratic primary. Believe it or not. The list.
Where have we seen a field this large before?
The list is hilarious.
Instant PTSD. It tends to get very small very quickly.
Jim
around
Clyburn.
here.
Where's the doll? Tell us.
I got the doll right here. Right here.
Oh, so you've been holding the doll.
Yes.
Show us where on the doll that Jim
Right
Clyburn
here,
touched
right
you.
about here in the heart region.
So
Yes.
Jim Clyburn touched Jonathan, and now we are here festooned in old glory for July 4th and a celebration of Midwestern Marx's first anniversary.
Yes.
Shout out
in
to
the world's greatest revolution, the American Civil War.
and the greatest leader of that war, Union Brigadier General August Willich,
That's right.
the greatest American communist who ever lived.
Bottles up to August Willis real quick.
I guess we're drinking up again. Friend of the pod, Dominic.
Yes.
So
what were you about to bring
we're
up
gonna
right
look
there?
at we're gonna look at the candidate list, and it begins with Senator Nina Turner, former state senator Nina Turner, Cuyahoga County Councilwoman Chantel Brown, who we've been talking about, who is also the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party chairwoman. I mean,
Chantel Brown?
yes,
I did not know that. How is that a thing?
you didn't know that.
I did not know that off the top of my head. I knew she was.
Oh my God!
Continue.
How did you not? Well, this is how much people know about Chantel Brown.
She's nobody.
She could have
She's
fallen
freaking
out
nobody.
of the sky yesterday. So
Yes. Establishment just plucked from the basket.
yes, from a PMC basket of
Pete Buttigieg's.
Pete
and
Buttigieg
Kamala Harris's.
PowerPoints. So former city councilman Jeff Johnson, who we will
Jeff Johnson with the chair.
Jeff Johnson's got the fucking outside shot.
He's going to come in with the chair.
Former state senator Shirley Smith, who I ran against once for county executive.
Shirley, come lately. Continue.
Shirley, a very nice woman. Shirley, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, yeah, we all need a fucking salary, but Jesus Christ, enough of this. Former state representative John Barnes Jr., certifiably insane.
He is barnstorming the country, folks.
Background on John Barnes: he has run for everything and anything since, I don't know.
And has he shown an ability to hit the broadside of a barn?
Since 2003 or some shit. And
He has not.
I don't know. Apparently, his father was a big deal, and that's why he's John Barnes Jr. So he thinks all he has to do is put his name on the ballot, and everyone's going to remember that name,
Yeah.
like my last name, Russo.
Yes. Russo is a big political name here in Cleveland.
So that's what he's thinking.
For good and bad reasons.
And he's been thinking that too long. Like everybody who knew John Barnes Sr. left town. Like they're gone.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Decades.
Now, this is the most interesting one. The next candidates are Tariq Shabazz and
Beautiful name.
Latik Shabazz.
Are they related?
I have tried so hard to figure out whether or not these two are married or sisters or brothers or cousins or whatever. I've looked. Please help. I don't like to work that hard to figure out who's related to who. But two people, Tariq Shabazz and Latik Shabazz. Then a James Jerome Bell, a Will Knight, a Pamela Pinckney, Isaac Powell, Martin Alexander, Seth J. Corey.
A
Now,
bunch of people with too much time on their hands.
in a 7% turnout race, any one of those people can roll the dice
Yes.
and hope.
They catch lightning in a bottle at some point and
In
ride it.
a 7% race.
Yes.
I think that's what Jeff Johnson thinks.
Yes.
Jeff Johnson thinks all I need is 15% or 20%.
All I need is to pick up a chair and crash the stage at WWE SmackDown Raw.
Right. Jeff Johnson. Now, let's talk about Jeff Johnson. So, Jeff Johnson and I know each other very well. I negotiated with Jeff Johnson in 1996 for the Ohio Get Out the Vote budget for the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus. in between now and then, he got arrested for corruption charges, some graft or whatever, and came out and is now Mr. Second Chance dude, running around, did his time. I don't know how long it was, 5 years, 7 years. But Jeff Johnson ran for mayor. Everyone kind of thought he was going to run for mayor this year. He did not. He chose this race. He's running, and I think he thinks he's going to win with 20%.
20%.
I think that's what he thinks. I think that's his bet.
He thinks it's just going to be a divided hall, and he'll just have a white chunk, essentially.
I think that's his bet, and his bet is probably going to be wrong because Nina Turner is polling at 35%, at a 35-point lead.
And people know who Nina Turner is. They know who Nina is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see Jeff Johnson thinking straight. Because he thinks
because he has demonstrated a capacity to not think straight.
Yeah, I mean he thinks that there's no giant gorilla in the room, which is the 35-point lead. I mean, if you just throw yourself into a 35-point race, you're an idiot. He should have dropped out right away. Everybody should have dropped out right away when they saw
the
that.
establishment should have consolidated around one candidate.
But they did. They established it.
Yes, early. Chantel Brown was a person.
No. Frank Jackson endorsed Nina. Remember? Okay, so Frank Jackson is the mayor.
Dichotomy between national politics and local politics.
Right.
Big difference.
Tell us what that is.
What the difference is?
Yeah.
Nina has been crucially involved in a lot of things local here in Cleveland and in the state house. She was a state senator after all. So she's a player who has done a lot of work with establishment figures like a Frank Jackson, who is the mayor of Cleveland, who endorsed her, who is an establishment
politician. And they've
politician.
worked together for years. They've known each other for years. So when Frank, and the thing about Frank's endorsement is that Frank doesn't endorse anything.
Nothing. He doesn't even endorse himself.
He doesn't really. He's the biggest zero fucks given guy.
Yes,
and
he is full chill.
Yeah,
he is big chill.
He's big chill in the hands of capital and loves it.
He's just chilling.
He's very comfortable there. He ain't walking out on a limb.
He's in his cocoon,
and he's on his way out.
Yep.
This year. So
he's headed to his yacht in the Hamptons.
So what good does he get from endorsing Nina Turner?
Well, nothing politically. I don't see him running.
Why would he do it?
State
Why would he do it if she wasn't up 35 points?
Yeah, that's one poll. You're right. Frank Jackson is not one to take chances.
He doesn't take chances.
He does the safest of safe bets, and if there's not a safe of safe bets, he just takes a nap. He goes to the same daycare Joe Biden does for his naps, and they get their little fruit punches. They sip those, and then they sugar crash and go to sleep. They run around the room for a little bit, and then they crash.
So that's our rundown of the Ohio 11th Democratic primary for the Midwestern Mark's first year anniversary. What else should we talk about? I mean, this race, I think we broke it down pretty good. I mean, she's going to win. I think she's going to win. What's the bet? The bet is I think she's going to win.
Yes.
And you don't think she's going to win?
I think she could win.
So you don't want to make
it. If she does, it'll be single digits. That's what I'm saying. I'm doing a -9 as Nina as the favorite. Does that make sense betting wise? I
guess so. If you're going to go that way, if you're going to play the numbers.
Oh, you got to play the numbers.
All right. Well, this might be a good time to pick up Rudolph.
Oh my goodness,
we're hanging in there.
But Tim.
Yes.
What is your opinion of Nina in your analysis of her ability to pressure the establishment of Washington, assuming she wins from the left?
I think she's going to be like the Squad and AOC, disappointments at every level.
Really?
I think she will talk a good game.
Okay.
And then when push comes to shove, she's just going to fold like a cheap tent.
Yes.
And that's why she came to Cleveland with Cenk Uygur.
He has a large platform.
Yeah,
she'd be a fool not to do one
right.
of that.
Well, that's just a fundraising operation. Then that's not you trying. That's not you trying to win votes.
Which
that's not trying to win votes.
If you want a lesson,
that's trying to win money.
If you want a lesson in capitalists defending capitalism, watch that town hall when somebody even sniffs the word socialism. Instantly.
Really?
Instantly. Instantly. And I love Killer Mike. We love Killer Mike here. He's a great guy. His Netflix series is great.
Yes.
His music is amazing.
Yes.
I love Run the Jewels.
Right.
Like all day long. Great workout music. He instantly pivots to starting to defend capitalism and calling himself a capitalist. Same with Jank. Same with Nina.
It's just this knee-jerk
These
reaction.
people are not Marxists. The only point is of contention I have of being like, we're voting for them is they're going to be a good vote on some good issues.
So my argument, which I made on Midwestern Marx in a well-written article, I must say myself.
Yes.
Is that Nina should have run as an independent because she doesn't need any of this. She's up by 35 points in a fetid, dead, rotting carcass of a political party owned by capital. There is no reason for Nina to invest anything in that party. None. And if she can do it with a completely independent source of money, which obviously she's doing right now, she should have. She should have run as an independent. And the only reason we're having this bet about her losing a 35-point lead in the Democratic primary is because she's in the Democratic primary.
And Democratic primary voters are not in Cleveland, in that district, are not Bernie Sanders supporters.
And she would then run in a November general election, not an individual special election just for this race, but the whole ballot is coming out. So turnout is higher.
Yes.
Not a lot higher because it's a municipal election, but the turnout is higher, especially in Cleveland, because Dennis Kucinich is running as an independent in Cleveland for mayor. So my argument was to Nina's people, her campaign, herself, in public on Midwestern Marx, is you should have run as an independent because now you might lose to Congresswoman from Israel, Chantel Brown.
Congresswoman representing the 11th district and Israel, the entire country.
Is this where we
sing
Israel? Is this where we sing the dreidel song?
Dreidel. Chantel made it out of clay. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous.
This is why we wanted Leslie to call back, but she didn't.
Yes.
She hates Bipkins that much.
Yes. Somebody should ask Nina Turner if she supports BDS just to watch her dance around that. But Tim, I also have another question for you because
please do.
Local politics in Tina.
Please ask
Nina,
me many questions.
Nina, my bad, Nina. I wasn't signing.
I'm going to keep drinking up, even though I probably shouldn't.
Yes. We touched on the national effect she might have. And I want to combine her runs and Dennis's runs in this frame as if they both win, if leftists win the mayorship of Cleveland
and the Congress
and the congressional seat, the main congressional seat of Cleveland.
The problem being there,
does that shake up
they're not a
the local leadership?
Dennis Kucinich is not a leftist.
But he'll have leftists in his administration.
Dennis Kucinich just proposed hiring 400 more police.
He did.
That's his platform, basically.
Dennis, I'm in your district.
So
I could vote for you, and that really
but you're not now because, I mean, if he's going to hire 400 more police, that's the exact opposite direction, Dennis. Should have called me back.
Yeah.
But it's going to be weird because they're both compromised, especially Nina because of the Issue 6 2009 campaign with Bill Mason, Google Bill Mason. I wrote about him too. She should have run as an independent, and then leftists could have embraced her. But at this point, she is just, she's going to be AOC. She's going to win a Democratic primary. She's going to get in there, and the next thing you know, she's going to vote for $780 billion worth of defense spending and $2 billion for her own police force. AOC voted for $2 billion for her own police force.
AOC,
that is wrong. That is like
disappointing.
put up a finger in the wind.
Which, as
Jesus
Marxists, we
who likes
understand.
cops? Who the fuck likes cops? I don't understand this.
She calls herself a democratic socialist. As a socialist, she should understand that the police are the enforcement mechanism of capital.
Which, by the way,
period.
This brings us to Eddie Liger Smith's article on Midwestern Marx today, published today in honor of our first anniversary, hopefully. I don't know if he did it on purpose. But it's entitled American Slavery and Capitalism. And it's basically, look at this dude.
Yes.
Look at August Willich.
This is a must-read article for me. I'm going to have to read this.
Eddie's latest article on Midwestern Marx is fantastic. We are closing in on 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
You want me to struggle some more?
I'm trying to think of anything
We're
else
going to
touch
thank
on.
friend of the pod, Dom, one more time. We're going to hold up the Rudolph. Thank you for the great sound and the video. I think we got one more. Give me another question. Keep me going.
Keep you going?
Yeah.
All right. Let me think here. We touched on the local effect. So you don't think do you think she would endorse local primary challenges from the left of
No, I don't think she would take a chance in the world.
You don't think she gets pressured from some of these local people who actually buy her stuff?
She's going to get into a safe seat. She's going to win with 98% of the vote every year. It's a safe job. It's a safe $180,000 a year. That's what all of them are doing it for, the job.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for anything other than the paycheck. What do you think Diane Morgan's doing asking a question about poverty to Cenk Uygur?
What about poverty?
What about poverty, Cenk? Cenk, how many staff did you have review that one?
And I don't want to bash on Nina Turner too much. Like I said, I feel like she'd be a good vote on some issues.
Are we Team Jimmy or Team Cenk?
Or Team Jimmy or Team... I'm Team neither. I'm Team Radical Marxist Revolution.
We're Team Eddie.
That
redistributes
the means of production to the working class. That's what we are for.
We're Team Carlos, actually. So, anything else? Should we just be happy for the 1 year anniversary of Midwestern Marx? We don't have a bet. Sorry.
No, we do have a bet.
No, you didn't fucking pick.
Minus, I'm giving you an over/under over here. This is a common betting tradition for those degenerates in the chat.
We are gonna tap out.
All right, we will give you an update on the bet as soon as possible.
Thank you for watching the Midwestern Marx podcast on answering the question: can Nina Turner lose a 35-point lead? The answer is
it's very possible.
The answer is yes.
It's very possible.
We may return to this issue next time.
Good luck, Nina. I'm clear on that.
Thank you for watching.